Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Parmeshwar. I hope I'm visible as well as audible to everybody. Can I get a quick message from everybody in the comment section, please? Hi, Salim. Hi, Dipanshu. Hello, Bhim. Hello, Jinath. Hi, Shashwat. Hello, Mehboob. So it's really nice to see all of you here. Thank you so much for joining this workshop. I know all of you have joined with a lot of expectations that it's going to be a very it's going to be a lot of learning for all of you. Uh, Maybe you will get to learn about the CPG industry, the metrics, how this workshop can help ease what you do on a day-to-day basis. I assure all of you, all of that is going to happen. By the end of this workshop, you will definitely feel that in one way or the another, your maybe your task, what you do on a daily level, have reduced, right? Maybe we'll wait for another 2 minutes so that has joined, and then we'll start, right? If it's possible, can everybody just drop in the name of your organization so that I can know what all companies have joined here? Hello, Vinay. Hi, Rajnikant. So Vinay has joined from Bikaner Wala. Hi, Chetan. Bheem has joined from Green Dot Health Foods. Hi, Devendra. Devendra is from Vijay Solvex. Krishna. Hi, Krishna. He's joined from Apis India. Mehboob has joined from Shahia Foods. Chetan has joined from Mrs. Bector's. Prakash is here from Mrs. Bector's. Vishal is from Namaste India. Hi, Vishal. Yeah, Chetan. Yes, I know Kramika and English Oven. I know you very well. Mahindra is here from Empire Spices. Hi, Mahindra. Raymond is here from Raymond Trade Kings. Hi, Raymond. Great. So just a quick heads up for all of you. During this entire workshop, I will be asking some questions. So there will be, I have planned a few quizzes, and I would really appreciate all of you to participate. Every participation will fetch you 1 point, and every right answer to the question I ask will fetch you 2 points. So by the end of this workshop, the top five people with the highest scores will get some gifts. And from my marketing team, I know those gifts are going to be very awesome. So do participate and do answer. Even if the answers are wrong, you still get 1 point, right? Okay, so I will start sharing my screen, and then we can take it forward. Okay, so I'll just start with a little introduction about Bizom as well as myself. So we are working with more than 700 brands as their RTM partners. Uh, we help companies automate and digitize their entire supply chain, starting from the retailer to the sales force, the distributors, and the warehouse, right? So we are currently present in more than 32 countries, and more than 8 million retailers sell on Bizom, right? Little about me. I started my career with the FMCG industry only. So I have experience in sales as well as sales automation. So I've worked with companies like Mother Dairy, which is one of the leading dairy brands in India. And I have worked with Bunge in sales as well as sales automation. So the leading brand of Bunge is Dalda and Gagan. I'm sure all of you have had products from these two companies at some point in your life, right? If you're in India. So the objective of this workshop today is going to be, we'll cover four aspects. The first is we'll understand the day-to-day business problems a business who's into the CPG industry faces, right? Second would be what all metrics they can look at to understand those problems better. The third part is going to be how do you calculate those metrics? And the fourth and the most important part is how do you actually drive business growth and business outcomes via tracking and measuring all of the metrics. So when I say metrics, we sometimes call them as KPIs. They're interchangeable, right? Okay. So the heads up once again. I will be asking questions throughout, and every participation fetches you 1 point. Every right answer fetches you 2 points. The top five scorers will get some rewards, right? Okay. Uh, so please do not think of today's session as a boring classroom lecture. It's going to be a storytelling. So this story is basically about three people. One is Mr. Bahubali, who is the business head at Saturn Confectionaries. Second is Mr. Katappa, who's the business analyst at Saturn Confectionaries. And third is Bizom, who is the RTM partner for Saturn Confectionaries. Please do not ask me why Katappa killed Bahubali. This is not that case, right? Okay, so we start with the pop quiz. What is the population of India? Can I have the answers quickly? Mahendra Bose, 100 crores. Karthik Virmani, 1.4 billion. Okay. Bhim Singh, 140 crores. Manigandan Ramesh, 140 crores. Raymond Manzini, 140 crores. Okay, okay. Prasanna is saying 104 crores. Okay. Karthik Podila, 1.4 billion. Shravan R, 145 million, 1.43 billion, Dipanshu is saying. Great, awesome. So all of you are on the right path, apart from those who said 100 crores and 104 crores. So as per census of 2011, the data says it's 1.2 billion. But yeah, it was in 2011. The population has increased up to about 130, 140 crores. That's perfectly fine. So all of you get score for that, apart from those who said 100 crores and 104 crores, right? Okay. Oh, sorry, Prasanna. So that was a typo. Okay, then you also get one score, right? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So now moving forward. So now Mr. Bahubali, who's the business head at Satin Confectionaries. Satin Confectionaries, it's a chocolate manufacturing and marketing company in India, which is generating a revenue of 1,200 crores annually, and it serves 5 lakh outlets. So one day, Mr. Bahubali, he was going through this article in Business Today, wherein he got to know that Nondelays, which is the biggest player in this market, is present at 30 lakh outlets. So he got into the comparison that Nautilus is present at 30 lakh outlets while he's present at just 5 lakh outlets. But then he kept reading, and then he got to know that the relevant outlet base in India is 90 lakh, and the market leader is still at 30 lakh outlets. So there is a huge scope of universe expansion within this category. So he was amazed to see the potential India holds. So he reaches out to Katappa, who's the business analyst, and asks him, let's just unlock this potential. Let's just target to hit 90 lakh outlets, service 90 lakh outlets, right? So he goes up to Katappa and he gives him three problem statements. The first is he asks him, Katappa, which cities do I target for outlet expansion? Second, in those cities which I target, in what all areas am I present? Thirdly, uh, in those cities where I'm targeting, what is the gap areas? Where am I not present, and where could be those potential outlets, right? So I've dropped in a small data set as to at how many outlets are all of these competitors. So Nondelays is at 30 lakh outlets, Hesle is at 14.5 lakh outlets, Cerero is at 7.6 lakh outlets, and Tars is at 2.3 lakh outlets, and Satin Confectionaries is at 5 lakh outlets, as I mentioned, right? So now, uh, what do we do, right? So how does Katappa go and I actually solve all of these three problem statements, right? So to solve these problem statements, there are two present prerequisites that Katappa requires. First is he needs to have the access to a Satin Confectionaries data as to what is the city-wise outlet coverage data. And second is he needs to understand one thumb rule. As per leading market research firms in India, it is said that for every 500 people in India, there is one Kirana store. Now, it could be different for different population strata cities. For 10 lakh, it could be different. For 50 lakh population, it could be different. But a general thumb rule is 500 people for every one store, right? So this basically helps us get a direction as to where the outlet potential is actually there, right? So, so I've listed down a few cities from India and what is their population as per the 2011 census. So Patiala in India, which is in Punjab, it has a population of 4,06,000 outlets. Pathankot has a population of 1,43,000 outlets. So Adesh Soji is message that he's joining from Nigeria. So yeah, I think there's a similar thumb rule which could be there in Nigeria also. Maybe you can check and research as to what is the trend that follows there, right? Uh, Continuing, in Abohar, we can see that the population is 1,46,000. Now, how do we identify as to how many, what is the outlet universe in each of these cities? So what do? I take that thumb rule. For 500 people, there is one outlet, and I divide the population by 500. So so now if I divide this population by 500, this is what I get. So in Patiala, I have an approximate outlet universe of 812 outlets. In Pathankot, I have 286. In Ludhiana, I can see that the potential is 3,238 outlets. Now my question to all of you is, once I have identified this number as to how many outlets are approximately there in a city, as a CPG company, should I target to reach all of those outlets or not? So I'm just looking for a yes or a no. So if I've identified 812 outlets in Patiala, should I target to service all of these 812 outlets or lesser than this? So Kartik Singh is saying no, no, no. Just a quick answer. Why do you think we should not target all of these outlets? No, we would go for most feasible for us, Abhishek is saying. Okay. Any other answers as to why we should not target all of these outlets? Check feasibility being saying not practical, cost effective. Okay, so I'll just give you the right answer for this. In generally in the CPG in the FMCG industry, uh, generally there is a credit period which is there. So it generally starts from 7 days, goes up to 15 days, 20 days, right? But in some of the cases, there are many outlets in that particular area which are not good paymasters. So there is a very high chance of bad debts. So the general trend which is seen across companies is that we try and target 80% of the outlet universe, which we have calculated this way, right? There are other ways, the way you guys, all of you have mentioned, think that those are also correct, but this is one of the ways which we wherein we try to filter down the outlets, right? Right. Uh, so, uh, So assuming that we try and target 80% of the outlets which we have identified, so now my target outlet universe is going to be 812, 80% of that, right? So this is my target outlet universe. I have to ensure that my visits and my presence is at all of these outlets, right? Correct. So now I have the data, as I mentioned in the prerequisite. I need to have the data as to how many outlets am I servicing, right? So in Patiala, I know I have a target of 650 outlets, but I'm servicing 628 outlets. In Pathankot, my base is 229, and my actual data is 230, right? In Ludhiana, my target should be 2590, but I'm servicing only 1998. So what is my percentage outlets which I am servicing, right? So this is the percentage, right? Now from this analysis, I can clearly see as to what all cities I should target to increase my outlet universe, increase my reach rate. So anybody who's less than 90%, I should primarily target. So Muktsar is one town for me. Hoshiarpur is another city. Ludhiana is another city. So all of these cities I should target to increase my outlet universe, right? Now, the second question was, once I've identified in what all cities do I need to expand my reach, my second problem statement is, how do I actually identify in what all areas am I present and am not present, right? Which was the second problem statement that Bahubali gave to Katappa. Now, to help that, there is one prerequisite that we need again. That prerequisite is the outlets which where we are already servicing. We need to have the latitude and longitude for that, right? So everybody who is working in Bizom, they have that clarity as to that we capture the latitude and longitude of all the outlets that we have in the outlet base, right? So how do we do that is we can create a heat map which will help us identify the gap areas for us, right? Now, how do we do that? Let me just take you through the steps. So this is the link through which you can create a heat map. It's completely free of cost. Anybody can go to this Google site and you can create. I'll just take you through it and show you how it's done, right? So I open this link, okay, and I go here and I create a new map. Okay, so this is how it's opening. What I will do is I will import an Excel file here. I will browse my computer. So I have already downloaded a file which has the outlet's latitude and the longitude. Or the list is there and their latitude and longitude I have presented. So this is asking me to tag the column with the latitude and the longitude. So I have a column name in that Excel sheet known as outlet latitude. Once I select it will ask me, is it the latitude or the longitude? So I will select latitude. And for the longitude, I have to select the longitude option here, right? Then I click on continue. Then this is just a header. I can use any of the fields. So let's say I select outlet. Okay, and I finish. So if you see the list of my outlets, my current coverage is plotted here, right? All of these blue markers are the outlets where I am present, I am servicing, right? Now this is for the city which is Jalandhar. This white beigeish area you can see on this map is the entire Jalandhar city. Can you identify if there is any kind of gap in the Jalandhar city and I can increase my reach to any of the cities, any of the area in the city? Does it look like there's any kind of gap which can be filled in this particular city? Yes, yes, yes. So just to give you a little more insight, if you zoom in here into any area, right? These crisscrosses and zigzags, they basically tell as to that there are a lot of streets here, right? And sorry, and seeing the population of India, the density of population in India, Honestly, it's not possible that there is no outlet which is present here in this particular area or this entire area, that no outlet is there, right? So this is one way we can identify as to in which all areas there is gap, right? So I can see such a major area where there is no presence, there is no coverage via this particular organization, right? So one way to do is this, but there is another way where you can plot all of that. Let me just show you that also. We have our in-house business intelligence tool, which is called as DIY Analytics, right? Uh, via that DIY Analytics, you don't need to download any kind of Excel files. You don't need to upload, don't need to map. You just simply drag and drop a few items here and there, and you can have this kind of maps available, right? So Karthik is asking, can also map outlet universe? Yes, Karthik, we can map. So this was my coverage map. If we want to map as to how many outlets I've just created onto Bizom, we can do that, right? So let me just take you to the tool as to which can help you do all of this exercise just with a few clicks. No need to download and upload any kind of Excel file. So I have the link here. So if you can see my screen, this is my tool. The outlets are already mapped here. Okay. Now how I created this, I'll just take you through it. Okay. Uh, if I edit this dashboard, the only thing I need to do is I need to add a widget. Then from the dimensions, I select latitude, outlet latitude I drop in here, longitude, outlet longitude I drop in here. Then I put field outlet, unique build outlets. Okay. As and when I do this, it is automatically showing me a visualization option, which is the maps, right? If I click on this, it has already created a map, right? And I can zoom it here, right? So the task which took us maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes, if you do that, uh, just takes hardly not even 1 minute if you have the access to this, right? So Karthik is asking, this tool is free to use, unlimited. So Karthik, no, this is an additional module we have in Bizon, right? If you would like to explore this, you can reach out to us. We will be floating a Google form at the end of the session. You can fill out that form, and we can have a one-on-one session wherein we can demo the entire tool, all of the capabilities for this tool, right? So Vignesh is asking, can we also select distributor lat long along with outlet lat long? Yeah, yes, we can do that. We can have separate bifurcations for which lat long is for outlet, which lat long is for distributor. We have all of that. So Vignesh, if you would like to see all of that, we can have a one-on-one session after this workshop. If you can just fill out that Google form, we can arrange that session and showcase the entire capabilities along all of that. And any such questions you have, we will be covering those also. So this is one way we can actually identify where the potential is, in which city the potential is, where are the gap areas and where I am present, right? So now continuing with that. Okay. Okay. So now coming to this next exercise. So the first problem statements the Bahubali had was he wants to identify which cities sorry, which cities he should target. We got the answer. We got it from by having the thumb rule for population divided by 500. Then how do we identify which all areas should we target to increase our reach and expand our outlet universe, right? So we got the answers for that. Now, now that Mr. Bahubali, he's identified which cities he wants to expand distribution. Now he wants to understand, does he have enough manpower on field to cover that entire universe, right? So now again, he reaches out to Katappa with the below problem statements. The first problem statement he asks him is, how many outlets should each salesman cover? Second is, how many sales representatives do I need in each targeted city to cover my potential, right? Uh, any questions up till here? Any doubts? If you want me to go slow, I can go slow. Any kind of feedback till now? Okay, so moving on. So again, now Bahubali again gives Katappa two problem statements. First is, how many outlets should each salesman cover? Second is, how many sales reps do I need in each targeted city to cover my potential, the targeted outlet universe, which we just calculated, right? So now how do we do that? So now Katappa, he reaches out to Bizom, which is their our team partner, to help him understand as to what is the industry standards which are currently going on, right? So Bizom shares him a quick insight as to what is the industry standards. He tells him that in the dairy industry, the average number of beats per salesman is 2. The average number of outlets per beat is 50. So therefore, the unique outlets which every salesman is covering is 100. Whereas in the confectionery industry, the average number of beats is 6 per salesman. There are approximately 40 outlets in every beat or route, if you say. And so, therefore, the unique outlets which each salesman is covering is about 240, right? So, we use this number of 240 to actually get the answer as to how many outlets will each user cover, and do we have enough manpower on ground. So Mohammed Salim is asking, sales rep versus salesman. What is the purpose? Why do we need? So sales rep is the person who is going to make the calls to the outlets, right? So 40, 30, 40, whatever number of outlets we decide is going to make a call onto them, book an order, and those orders are going to be supplied. Does that answer your question, Salim? Okay, I'll just move on. So now what do we do? We had identified cities, we had identified their target outlet universe, which was 80% of what we calculated earlier, right? So we have Patiala, we want to target 650 outlets, we want to reach 650 outlets in Patiala, we want to reach 229 outlets in Pathankot, we want to reach 2590 outlets in Ludhiana. Now, how much is my actual outlets I'm servicing? Patiala, I'm servicing 628. Pathankot, we are servicing 213 outlets. Ludhiana, we're servicing 1998 outlets, which is the actual coverage, right? We have. So Raymond is asking, do they do resales? I'm sorry, I'm not clear onto the question, Raymond. So moving on. We have the target outlet universe. How many outlets do we want to target? We have the outlets which are currently being serviced in all of those cities, right? And we have the data as to how many reps do we have, right? Now, if we divide our target outlet universe by 240, which is the standard we just which Bizom had given to Katappa as to each salesman covers approximately 240 outlets uniquely. So if I divide my target outlet universe by 240, I will get that number as to how many outlets, how many sales reps do I need in each of these cities. Okay, so this is how it's being calculated. So in Patiala, I can see I have 3 reps and I need 3 reps only, right? Raymond is asking, sales rep, they do pre-sales, right? So Raymond, it depends upon the kind of service model you have. You can have a pre-sales model also, you can have a order booking model also. So sorry, you can have a pre-sales model or you can have van sales or direct sales model also, right? In pre-sales, we book an order and then maybe the same day, next day, or 2 days after the order is supplied. But in case of ready stock model or the van sales model, the sales rep goes to the market and keeps selling, keeps delivering the product. So the order booking and the sale happens on the same time during this journey, right? So Karthik is asking, outlets per beat will be same for all cities as distances are different, right? So they can be different, right? Outlets per beat. So this is just a direction. It's more of a customized beat planning what we do on a city by city level, right? So this is just to give you a direction as to how we can move. So moving on, so we have now calculated as to how many sales rep should we ideally have in each of these cities to cover the entire targeted outlet universe we calculated, right? So we can see in Ludhiana, we currently have 9 people working, but ideally we should have 11 people who should be there on ground to cover my targeted outlet universe. In Jalandhar, I have 3 people, but ideally there should be 6 people who should be there deployed on the ground. Right? Okay. So now another pop quiz. How many brands does Bizom work with? How many brands does Bizom work with? Beam Singh 700 plus. 700. Karthik Virmani 500 plus. Perfect, perfect. So 700 plus is the right answer. So all of you who have said 700 plus, you get 2 points. And and Karthik, you said 500 plus, you get 1 point for participation. Okay. So moving on. So now that we have identified which cities we want to target for our outlet expansion, how many people do we need to cover all of those? Abhishek is saying increasing so much that we can't keep a track. I love, completely love this message. Thank you so much. But we will keep sharing as to how many brands we are working with, and we'll keep updating you onto that, right? So moving on. In the first phase, we covered what all cities do we target for outlet expansion. Second phase, we covered in which all in those cities do we have enough manpower to cover all of those outlets which we want to target, right? Now, Karthik is saying actually 500 plus covers anything. You are right, but I still would give preference to the 700 plus answer. But you still get 1 point, right? So coming to the third exercise, right? Uh, so now Mr. Bahubali, he actually went and he increased the manpower, which what all we decided, right? Where it was short in Ludhiana, it was short in Bathinda, right? He increased his manpower. Now that manpower is deployed, the cities are targeted, team is working. He just wants to ensure that team is working efficiently in the market, right? So now he again goes up to Katappa and he gives him a problem statement. Maybe this was one of the reasons because Bahubali had so many questions for Katappa. That is why probably he killed them, but not sure. So now Bahubali goes to Katappa. He gives him this problem statement as to how do I track if my sales reps are optimally as well as ethically covering those outlets. Now, when I say ethically means are the sales reps actually going to the outlets, physically visiting those outlets and making those calls and booking the orders, or are they sitting at one location and just punching those orders, right? So this was our problem stated as to how do we identify this, right? So again, Katappa goes to their best friend Bizom, and he asks Bizom to help him with that, with the problem, right? So to help Katappa with this problem, Bizom gives him a few KPIs which he can track to understand this efficiency and if the sales reps are covering the outlets ethically as well as optimally, right? So the first KPI or the metric is the PJP adherence. Now, PGP adherence is a metric which we use to understand how many outlets were defined for a particular salesman. And out of those outlets which are defined, how many outlets is he actually covering? Now, the catch is here You can have 40 outlets planned for you in one day, and you cover 40 outlets in the same day. But it could also be possible you covered those 40 outlets from some another beat, but not today's beat. So in that case, your PJP adherence is zero, and it's not 100%. Ideally, on the face of it, it looks 100%, but it's not 100%, right? So that is one of the important metrics if the user has adhered to the PJP, right? Then secondly is the geo-compliant calls. Geo-compliant calls basically tells us that if the user has made a sales call within the desired radius of that outlet, right? So the industry standard what we take right now is 200 meters. So if a salesman has made a call at an outlet within a radius of 200 meters from that outlet, we say that call was a geo-compliant call. Now it could, this 200-meter distance could be 50 meters, 100 meters, 500 meters, again depending upon company to company, organization to organization. But this 200-meter is just a standard that we take across the industry, right? So any call which is done within the radius of 200 meters, we consider that call as a geo-compliant call. Anything which is done more than a 200-meter radius distance, we consider that as a non-geo-compliant call, right? So the third KPI that we can use to understand if the team is working efficiently as well as ethically in the market is the time spent at outlets. So time spent at an outlet is basically the starting time of the call when he enters the outlet and he starts the call minus the call end time, right? So as in when he enters the outlet, he starts talking to the retailer, maybe checks the stock, talks about different categories, talks about new product developments, right? Uh, up till the time he exits the outlets, that is what we consider as a call start time and call end time. So everybody who has been working with Bizom, they know that we track all of these. We have certain reports, we have dashboards wherein we track all of these KPIs, right? In Bizom. Okay, so moving on. Now Katappa, he makes an analysis for all of these three metrics and he shares it with Bahubali. But while making all of these analysis, Katappa had to download a lot of reports. Had to convert them into Excel. He had to download those reports into Excel, crunch the data, and then finally make an analysis. So he goes to Bizom now, and he requests for help with three things. The first is, instead of going through multiple reports, is there any way he can readily access them? Secondly, at a single glance, can he track salesman wise the increase or decrease in the value of all these metrics in comparison to this month and in comparison to previous months or the previous year? Thirdly, can he give visibility of these metrics to the sales team also? So apart from the top management, the MIS analyzing all of these data, the sales team can also analyze all of these metrics. So Stephen is asking, so at what point should a rep check in? So ideally, from the moment a user enters the outlet, he should start his call, right? So that we can actually identify how much time is he spending into that outlet at point of greeting or after. No, so ideally, as in when you step into that outlet, you should start the call, because after that you spend time communicating with him. You have to check the stock, you have to understand what all products are kept at the shelf, right? You introduce a lot of products, if any new products are there, any schemes are there, right? So we generally want to consider all of that as a part of time being spent at the outlet, right? So again, moving on. Now Katappa wants help from Bizom as to if there's any way he doesn't have to download all of those reports. He can access them right away. He can track all of those metrics salesman wise, and if he can give a visibility of all of those metrics to the sales team directly, right? So to answer all of those questions, the solution for all of these problems is again the tool which I just showed you, which is our in-house business intelligence tool, which we call as DIY analytics, right? So let me quickly take you through one of the dashboards which we had created to show you, right? So if you can see here, we have a table here which tells me what is the name of my salesman, what is the calls which have been scheduled for him, what is the total calls, what is the productive calls which the user did, what is the total PJP calls. So for, let's say, for this user, which is Saurav. Saurav has 992 calls which are scheduled for him. It could we can track this on a daily, monthly, weekly, or whatever the time frame you decide, right? Out of these 992 calls, which are scheduled for him in a beat, he has made only 537 calls, right? So he's not covering his beat entirely. Out of this 537 outlets he has visited, he has booked an order on 521 outlets. Now, out of these 537 outlets that he visited, all 537 were a part of his beat, right? So in all of these users, we can see there is no outlet which was visited which was not a part of their beat plan, right? So every outlet which is being visited was designed to be a part of that particular day's beat plan, right? Now we go to here. This is the geo compliant calls. So this shows me something very interesting. Out of these 537 outlets that he visited, at only 9 outlets he was physically present. Rest all of the calls were not geo compliant. So he was not within a radius of 200 meter of that outlet while making all of the remaining calls apart from these 22. And we can also identify as to what is the average calls which this particular user is making on a day. So I've taken this analysis on a monthly basis. In 1 month, the average TC this user is making per day is 22, right? Now, how did I make this table? How much time did it take for me to make? If you idly go through all of those reports, download them into Excel files, and then make data, crunch that data and make some analysis, it's going to take you a lot of time. But in this tool, it takes hardly 1 minute to create such a table. So if I edit this, what I need to do is, again, add a widget. I go here. I want to understand what is which I want to make this analysis on a user level, right? So I go to dimensions. I can simply search for user. So I have the username. I drop that username here. Then I want to understand what is the number of outlets which were planned in his beats, right? So we have multiple data tables here, which we call as cubes. If you select scheduled calls, I have a measure called as total scheduled calls. I pick and I drag and I drop it here, right? So I can clearly see for Saurav, there are 992 calls planned. Shilpa, there are 3 calls planned. Rajan, there are 770 calls planned. Now, out of these the planned calls, how many calls did these users actually make? So then I go to another table, which is calls, and then I select total calls from here. I drag and I drop it here. So it took me less than 1 minute or less than 20 seconds to make such a table, right? All of these KPIs, all of these measures are pre-configured. We have unique outlets visited, days with calls, visit frequency, effectively covered outlets, average total call per user per day, average productive call per user per day. We have geo compliant calls percentage. So all we have around 400 KPIs or metrics which we have already configured here. So you just need to drag and drop these metrics along with a few dimensions. A dimension could be zone, subzone, a user, distributor, state, city, all of that can be there, and you can make all of these analysis. Once you have created a dashboard like this, you can easily map it to any of the sales user, any of the sales team. So if you map it to a particular user, they can have the visibility of this dashboard on their mobile as well as their web platform also. Okay. So this is one way Bizom can help. Bizom helped Katappa to not go through all of those reports one by one, download them, just create a dashboard, and you can make all of those analysis. Right. So now, moving on. Any questions? If I'm going too fast, please guys do let me know. Okay, so Muhammad Salim is asking, check in, how does it count when they make a start call that it records the timestamp? Yes, exactly. So when they on Bizom, when you start the call, that is when it creates a timestamp, date and a timestamp, and that is the time we start recording as to uh, what how much time you've spent at a particular outlet. So from the time you start the call till the time you end that call onto Bizom, we calculate the time difference between that as the time spent at outlet. Okay. So so now moving on. Now the last part where we are discussed. So now we have identified the outlets, right? We've identified if we need more team to cover those targeted outlets. We've understood the metrics we can see to analyze if the team is working efficiently and effectively in the market, right? Now coming to the fourth part, how do we use these metrics to actually drive business growth, bring in more business into the organization? So now Mr. Bahubali, he has all the required team on ground. The team is working effectively and they have attained the maximum outlet coverage potential. Now, this time the top management they have taken a target to increase their sales by 5% in the next month, right? So Mr. Bahubali, he plans to run a contest within the company to motivate the sales team and achieve the target. He again comes up to Katappa with this following problem statement. So he tells him, Katappa, what can be some metrics on which we can run a contest? So again, Katappa, he reaches out to Bizon to help him with that. Now, how do we do that? So these are the few metrics which Bizom shares with Katappa, which can be tracked to help drive that 5% business growth, right? So the first is total lines sold. Before that, Prakash has a question. What if I only started call and entered three SKUs order and then ended the call? My time spent would be differential of both timelines, that is 10 seconds. Okay. Yes, this is a common practice which we see in the market, that users, they just start a call, quickly enter the SQs and end the call, and then they have those discussion. To cover with that problem, what we do is we can have multiple activity forms which we map to for that particular outlet. So some mandatory activities which we require the salesman, like the salesman has to enter the stock at the outlet, right? He cannot enter the stock of that outlet if he does not start that call, right? So that way we ensure that the user is increasing his time at the outlet and filling in all of those data, so we can also have a visibility, right? Karthik is asking, outlet size data is also available. Details about the outlet and how big is it? Karthik, I'm honestly not sure about the question. Can you please rephrase it? So Raymond is requesting for training on how to make those report in Bazaar. Yes, Raymond, you can just fill out that Google form. We can have one-on-one session regarding these reports, and we will definitely train you on how to create those reports. If I understand, Karthik, what you're saying, outlet size data is also available, details about the outlet and how big is it. Uh, the outlet name, yes, we can have onto that platform. Is valid to prioritize which store. Yes, yes, we have all of those details, like the outlet, the average sales value from that outlet. If it's a category store, B category store, if it's a general store, it's a modern trade store, Kirana store, all of those details, if we have those stored in Bizom, we can bring all of those onto that platform. We can analyze and then we can target basis on that data. I hope that answers your question. So moving on, the first metric which we can use to drive business growth is total lines sold. Now, what do we mean by total lines sold? This is basically the number of SKUs which are ordered or billed in a particular call, right? So let's say I go to an outlet. I take order for three SKUs from there. In the invoice which is going to be billed, or in the order sheet that's going to be create generated, there are going to be these three line items. So every line items, the number of lines we have on that order sheet or invoice, we call that as total lines sold, right? Now my question to you is, if let's say one outlet, I took an order for three SKUs, I went to the second outlet, I took an order for those same three SKUs again. Now that's not going to be considered as three lines built. The total lines which I have built in one day, it's going to be six, because there are the number of lines has increased, right? Now which brings me to my next metric, which is lines per sales call. So now, if so lines per sales call is basically total number of lines divided by the number of calls which I did. So, in the example which I was just mentioning to you, if I visited two outlets, in both those outlets, I've taken order for three SKUs, and it's the same three SKUs. My total lines for the day is six, but when I calculate my lines per sales call, it's going to be six divided by two calls, which is going to be three lines in a particular sales call, right? The third metric which can be used is drop size. As the name suggests, drop size is basically what the quantity or the value of goods which are being dropped at the outlet during the sales call, right? So let's say if I go to a particular outlet today, I sold him goods worth 100 rupees or 10 cases. The drop size for today for that particular outlet is 100 rupees or 10 cases, depending upon if I want to track it in value or volume, right? So these are the three metrics which can be utilized to drive business growth. Now, how do we actually drive business growth from these? I'll come to an exercise for this. Right. Okay, now pop quiz. A salesman visited three outlets in a day. He The orders he took are as follows, right? So he visits outlet one. Okay, so he visits outlet one. He takes order of 10 pieces of SQ1. He takes order of two pieces of SQ2, three pieces of SQ3. Uh, okay, Bheem has a question. Please explain drop size again. Okay, I will explain it again, Bheem. In a particular call, whatever amount or quantity of goods you ordered or sold, let's take an example for order. Whatever quantity is ordered in that particular call, we call that as a drop size, right? So if I went to an outlet, I'm a salesman, if went to an outlet, I took an order for 100 rupees from that outlet, my drop size is 100 for that particular call, right? So if I consider that in terms of quantity, if I sold 10 cases there, so my drop size in quantity is 10 for that particular call. So I'll take you through this quiz. So now a salesman visited three outlets in a day, right? This is the order he took. On the first outlet, he took order for SQ1, SQ2, SQ3. Outlet 2, he took an order for SQ2, SQ3, 4, 5. On outlet 3, he took an order for SQ1, 2, 4, and 5. Now, how many lines did he build during the day? I see people have already answered. Karthik is saying 5 lines. Sorry, Karthik, that's the incorrect question. So Anup is saying 11. Yes, so 11 is the right answer. Jinath, 10 is the incorrect answer. So as I already said, uh, the number of lines which are being created, irrespective of the SQ which is being built, in a particular invoice, the number of lines, we calculate those lines, right? So when I went to outlet 1, I built three lines: SQ1, SQ2, SQ3. Now when I went to outlet 2, I built four lines: SQ2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I know SQ2 and 3 are common, but I created another invoice, I created another line. So it's a separate line for me. So after outlet 1 and outlet 2, the lines which I had built was 3 plus 4, which is 7. Now when I visited the third outlet, I built another four lines. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So by the end of the day, I have built 11 lines at the end of the day, right? So all of you who have said 11, they get 2 points, right? Next pop quiz. So now, uh, I visited the salesman visited 4 outlets in the day. These are the this is the order that he took. What is the lines per sales call for this particular day? So I went to outlet one. I took an order for SQ1, SQ2, 3. For outlet 2, SQ2, 3, 4, and 5. At outlet 3, 1, 2, 4, and 5. And I did not get any order from outlet number 4. So what is my lines per sales call for this? Raymond, the 5 lines built during the day, that's incorrect. If you want me, I can explain the logic again. I'll just repeat this question again. Uh, Outlet 1, outlet 2, outlet 3, and outlet 4. I visited, right? Then SQ1 out on outlet 1, I build these for 3 SQs. On outlet 2, I build these 4 SQs, right? On outlet 3, I build these 4 SQs out SQ1, 2, 4, and 5, and I did not build any SQs on outlet 4. So my answer would be 11 lines I built divided by 4. So yes, Stephen, you are right. Sum all line divided by outlet. That is the correct. So yes, the answer is 2.75. Yes. So anybody who's saying 2.75, that's the correct. So it doesn't really matter if it was a productive call or not. The number of calls that we did, that is what matters, right? Uh, 3.66. Nitin is calculating 3.66. Fourth outlet is not product. So Karthik, we generally consider number of calls which have been made, right? So for this, we consider all the calls which have been made, not the productive calls, right? 2.75 is the correct answer, right? So everybody who said 2.75, it's the correct answer. You get 2 points, and everybody who's give an answer apart from this, you get 1 point, right? Okay. Next, a salesman has 40 outlets planned for the day. He visits 45 outlets during the day. What is his PJP adherence? A salesman has 40 outlets planned for the day. He visits 45 outlets during the day. What is his PJP adherence? Before answering, I want all of you to think on this. So Karthik is saying 102.5%. Okay. Can I have more answers? 102.5. Okay. Abhishek Pandey, 102.5. Depends on how many calls done on PGP road. Bang on. Karthik has given the right answer. The data is incomplete for this question. So we do not know if he visited those 45 outlets from that particular beat or some other beat. So bang on. Only Karthik has given the right answer for this question. Rest everybody has given the incorrect answer. Yes, he could have done. Yes, Beam, what you're right. He could have done a beat jump. It's not this PJP was not planned for this user. It could be the case, right? We don't know. So that is why the data is incorrect for this question. Awesome. I think Karthik should get extra points for being the only right for giving the only person giving the right answer for this question. Right. Okay. Moving on. A salesman marked his attendance at 10 a.m. in the morning. He started his first call at 11 a.m. and he ended at 11:15. He started his last call at 5:45 p.m. I'm sorry, and ended at 6 p.m. Uh, he marked his end of day at 7 p.m. So, how many hours did he spend in the market? A salesman marked his attendance at 10 a.m. He started his first call at 11 a.m. So, Prakash is saying 7 hours. Okay. Okay. Bhim is saying 7 hours. Okay. Karthik, half an hour. Karthik, how are you calculating half an hour? So, Devendra is saying 5 hours. So 7 hours. Okay. Okay. So the answer for this is time in market we consider from the time from which he started his first call up till the time he ended his last call. So it could be the case that a salesman is at his home or any place else. He marked his attendance, right? But it took him probably 1.5 hour to actually reach his first outlet where he's starting, right? So he started his first call at 11 a.m., right? And the last call he completed it at 6 p.m. So from 11 a.m. up to 6 p.m. this is our time in market. So which brings us to 7 hours, which is the time he spent in the market. So time which he utilized for making starting call and making the calls is what we consider as time spent in market. So the ideal is 7 hours is the correct answer for this, right? So all of you get 2 points for correct answers, right? Okay, so last exercise for the day. In March 2025, right? This is the data we have. There were four outlets which were visited, right? Overall, 20 calls were made. Uh, the LPSC was three, and there was the total lines which were sold was 58. The sale was 11,000 in the month of March. Now, Bahubali has said that they have taken a target to increase the sales by 5%, right? Now, how do we do that? So, and we wanted to drive this increase in sales by using a particular metric, right? So now he says that how many lines should each salesman target per sales call to increase sales by 5%, right? Now that we know that sales in the month of March is 11,000, we want to increase these sales by 5%. So my sales in my target for April 2025 is 11,550, right? Now this is the list of SKUs that I have and their price, assuming that we just sell one SKU and all of the calls we do are productive calls, right? What is the right, I want to know an answer. What is the, how many lines should each salesman target per sales call, which is productive call, to increase the sales by 5%? While my SQ's price is starting from 150, goes to 180, then 200, 230, and the highest price is 250. I have these five SQs. The current lines which are being sold per call is three. How many lines should my salesman target in each call so that to achieve this target of increasing sales by 5%? It can vary based on SQ mix, right? Right. I agree. I agree. It will div, but I'm just saying what is the minimum number of lines he should target? You have the prices of the SKUs here. Depends upon the product sales and outlets. We already know there are three lines which are being sold on an average in each of those outlets. Anybody can calculate? Anybody can give me an answer? Okay, okay. I'll just share my thoughts as to how we can work on this problem, right? So now the my target for April is 11,550, right? We wanted to increase a 5%. We wanted to have a 5% increment in sales, right? So 11,550 is my target. Now what do I do is I can see that my SQ is starting from the price is starting from 150, right? So if let's say if I increase my lines per sales call by one, so my current lines per sales call is three. If I target it to four, what will happen? Just will have multiple some cases, right? If we just increase it to four, what will happen? If I increase it to four, that means there are four lines which every invoice is having, every call will have. The minimum order amount value for each line is going to be at least 150 or more than 150, right? So I'm assuming at least 150 is going to be there. So if I target four lines at every call, my minimum order value is going to be 600. So 4 multiplied by 150 is going to give me 600. So assuming I do the same number of calls which I did last month, and I target to sell at least four lines in every call, this is the total sale I get. So on outlet 1, I can have a 3,000 sale. In outlet 2, 3,600. Outlet 3, 2,400. And outlet 4, 3,000. So the sale which I can get by the end of the month by targeting just adding one more line item, one more line, I can target a sale of 12,000. My target was 11,550, but with by adding just one more line, I can get a sales of 12,000. So the statement I give to my sales team is that, guys, currently you are selling three lines in every call, increase it to four lines. When once you do that, automatically by the end of the month my target has already been achieved. So correct, guys, all of you who are saying four lines is absolutely right answer. Great. So Raymond, you get 2 points. Mahindra, you get 2 points. Dipanshu, you get 4 points. Perfect, perfect. Amazing, amazing to see. So thank you so much, guys. This was the last exercise for the day, right? It was wonderful to have all of you on board. I hope you guys got to learn something from this workshop, right? We would love to have such sessions if you guys want it, right? And now time for the winners. Who are the top winners for this workshop? We have first is Karthik Virmani. Congratulations, Karthik. We have Karthik Padilla. Third is Prakash Sonkar. Fourth is Beam Singh, and fifth is Mahindra Borse. So congratulations to all of you guys. Our marketing team will be reaching out to you. Our marketing team will be reaching out to you for more details. They will be sharing those gifts with you. And if you want to share those gifts with me, please, I'll be more than happy to accept all of those gifts from you, because my marketing team is not giving me anything. So thank you so much, guys. And we've also floated a Google form on this chats only. So if any one of you wants to request a one-on-one session for the tool, for the business intelligence tool, DIY analytics we showed you, you can please register onto that. We will reach out to you and we can schedule a session for that, right? We also have a ready reckoner wherein we have around 30 metrics which you can use to in your daily life to understand business in more detail. We will be sharing that with all of you, right? So thank you so much, everyone, and see you guys very soon. Bye bye.